Good afternoon, Flosstube, and welcome to the Homestead. My name is Lynette at Homesteading on the Homefront. It is Monday, June 3rd, 2019, and I thought now that Mania is over, it was high time I updated you on how my month went. Yeah, hard to believe, it's been a month. The last time I filmed was April 28th, so time got away from me. So I'm going to talk to you today about Mania, about my plans for June. But first I want to start off with a special thank you because I was one of the lucky ones who got one of these lavender sachets from Daleen. Look at that. She stitched an L and then on the back a beehive. How perfect is that? And then she sent a couple of beautiful cards. This pattern was from Market last year, and it was one of the only patterns that I really had to stitch, but I still have not ordered it. And I got Daleen's card and saw it, and I was like, yeah, that's going on my list. So I'm going to order that, and I'll be stitching that in 2020. And then this other beautiful card. Daleen, thank you so much. I appreciate your words and your handiwork and your friendship. Okay, let's start with Mania. As most of you know, if you watched my channel, I did Monogamous Mania a year ago in May. It was May 21st, 2019, a few days after I returned back to the States from Guam. Some friends and I started to stitch along with His Eyes on the Sparrow. And so I wanted to do that for Mania. And so what I ended up doing, I don't even know if I can show it to you. I've got it partially out of the Q-Snap. This is the top right-hand corner of the pattern. I filled in the house at Frugal Yankee, and then I did these 2 pages up here for Mania. And I didn't know how long it was going to take. Basically what I did is I would start a motif and if I finished it, then I would go back and work on a motif that I had started on a previous day and didn't finish. And so it wasn't quite as manic as I thought it was going to be. I envisioned like tons and tons of unfinished motifs, which would stress me out. But it wasn't bad at all. I think I even finished the cow in a day. I knew if I had a lot of stitching time, then I would just choose a bigger motif. The flower basket took me several days, but it is what it is. So that took me, I think it was like May. I hit May 19th, and I didn't know what I was going to do originally when Mania started. I didn't know if I was going to stop on May 19th or go for the whole month or what. So I hit May 19th, and I was so close to finishing that second page. So I told myself that I would stitch until I finished it. So it was like May 21st or 22nd when I finally finished that second page. And then I said, okay, I want to get another project ready to go for StitchCon. And so that project that I decided to get ready was Penny Pumpkin from Scarlet House. I won this from Cindy's Cross Stitch, and I wanted to outline the base and the pumpkin and the leaves so that I could take it to StitchCon and just fill in while I was chatting. And so I started stitching on that. And again, my original plan, just outline the pumpkins and do the base and the leaves. And then I was going to move on to my May Prairie Schooler. So I ended up getting the pumpkin and the base outlined. And so that was all well and good. However, I put it aside to start on my May Prairie Schooler. And what I found was, because of the time of year, now I should say in this part of the world, school doesn't get out until mid-June. Usually it's the 3rd week of June. This year we had no snow days, so it's early. It's June 13th. So most kids get out June 13th. However, the long-standing tradition is seniors get out early. And so they actually graduated yesterday. Go class of 2019. But they've been out of school for a couple weeks between, taking their finals and graduation practice and class trips and the whole 9 yards. And so what I found while I was subbing was that I had a lot of time where I could stitch in school. Now, usually I don't, because usually I'm subbing for math classes and I just teach them business as normal. I've been there enough for the kids to know that, okay, she's not a typical sub. She knows what she's doing, and, she can teach us Algebra 2 and pre-calculus. And so I usually just teach them their lesson and help them out and walk up and down the rows and answer their questions. But because of the time of year, with the seniors being gone, and also there's state testing going on, there's all kinds of stuff going on. So it's not typical days. And so I've had a lot of time where I might have a class with 3 kids left in it. Well, I'm not teaching 3 kids, right? So, long story short, I was able to start my May Prairie Schooler in school. And I was also able to finish my May Prairie Schooler in school. So I got the peppers done. I decided that I didn't want, I think on the original chart, I don't know where that is. It's here somewhere. Hold on. Let's see what color they were on the original chart. Yeah, on the original chart, they were red peppers. Right there. But I had already done the radishes, and I wasn't sure if I was going to end up stitching the carrots or not. I'm still not sure. So I decided in order to bring the orange in, I would make my peppers orange. And I just took the colors that were called for in the carrots. So because I finished this in school and I didn't have to take time at home to work on it, I was able to do more on Penny Pumpkin. So that's why I got the whole outline done. I got started on some of these stars. So I stitched on this until the end of May. So basically at StitchCon, I have to fill this in, I have to fill the pumpkin in, finish the leaves. I have to finish the black here on the border, and then there's a solid black line all the way around. So I figured that was easy enough. I could do that at StitchCon. And then I did get started on some of these star motifs. Now a lot of them, I don't know if you can see in the picture, but some of these smaller motifs are over 1. And they definitely require counting. So what I'm going to try to do is work on this on our way to StitchCon. We are leaving early. We are stopping in the Cleveland area to spend some time with my husband's family. And then I'm also going down to Amish country in Ohio because I've always wanted to go to Lehman's, and so that's on my bucket list. So we've got probably 3 nights of stitching in hotels before we get to StitchCon. So I am going to work to get all of the star motifs done so that at StitchCon I can do the black outline, I can fill in, and then maybe I can finish this at StitchCon. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take me. It always takes longer than you think it will. All right, let's put that over there. So then, that was the end of May. It was June. So I decided to start my June Prairie Schooler. Again, I got started on it in school. This is the, where is it? No, that's the eggplant. Where's the butternut? Right there. I am doing the butternut squash. So that is going to be June. I am only subbing 1 day this week, but I am subbing for 3.5 days next week. And there's going to be a lot of stitching time because the kids are going to be taking their exams. The last day of school, there's nothing going on. And I'm going to be there subbing. So I will have lots of stitchy time. So I'm hoping to finish this before StitchCon and have that done for June. So then I don't know what I'm going to do for July. I only want to stitch things that I'm growing. So I'm not growing turnips, so those are gone. I am growing sugar snap peas, but that's just so much green. And there's green in all these others. So I don't know if I'm going to do the peas or not. I did the radishes right here. Okay, wait a minute. These are turnips. Or no, those are beets. I'm not growing beets, so I'm not, no beets. They taste like dirt. I'm not growing mushrooms, and I'm not growing corn. So I will probably end up doing the eggplant next, and that'll bring in some purple too, so that'll be some nice coloring. So probably purple eggplant for July. So that's that. And because I hope to have this done, and also let me show you what I did. I also had time in class to go back and fill in the tomatoes. Last time you saw this, I had left all the red. I had outlined the red, but I was going to leave it in to fill in for StitchCon. Now I don't have to, and I don't even have to bring this project to StitchCon. So I thought that worked out well. And not one student has asked me what I was doing. Like, they seem to either know or not care. They're good kids. I love subbing at the school that I'm subbing at. They're great kids. Okay. So now, June. Like I said, gonna be hopefully finishing that prairie schooler squash. I am back to His Eye is on the Sparrow for the month of June. What I've decided is I'm going to try to get 2 more pages done. So basically from here to here is 1 more page, and then I have another page over here, and then there's a page down here. So there's the page I'm on, and then there's 3 pages left. So my goal is to get 2 pages done in June, and then 2 pages done in July, and then I'll be done. And that will leave me plenty of time to enter it into this year's fair. Like, this was never a goal. I never had a goal of when I was going to finish. But when I got those 2 pages done in June, I realized it was a possibility that I could get it done. Our local fair is Labor Day weekend, which means I have to have this stretched and framed by the end of August in order to get it entered on time. So I figured my goal will be 2 pages in July, 2 pages in June, and then that'll give me the whole month of August to, first of all, finish anything that I didn't get stitched if I wasn't able to finish 2 pages. And then it'll give me time to stretch it and frame it and not be rushed. I already do have a frame for it. I need to confirm that it's going to be okay. I need to confirm that it's going to be okay for forever. I know that it will be okay for the fair because we don't have any like EGA members or anything coming in to judge the fair. It's not like that. It's basically if you stitch it, you get a first place. That's how it works. But I want to have this on display because there's not a lot of cross stitch. You know this, right? If you've been to a fair, you know there's not a lot of cross stitch, and so I think this is a wow piece, and I wanna draw attention to the craft. So hopefully that will be done in August. So yeah, I've got a couple other projects in the works for August, maybe even July if I'm able to finish. I'm thinking about having a start at StitchCon because just like that's a thing, right? You have a retreat start. I wouldn't stitch on it very much because it involves a lot of counting and I'm just not good at counting and talking, but I think I might want to start it there. So I'm thinking about that. Stay tuned, you'll see. All right, so June, July, basically Sparrow. That's all you're going to see from me. Before I give you a Homestead update, I want to talk to you about some of my yard sale finds because it's yard sale season. I found these 2 charts. They're definitely older, but they're all fruits. Can you see this? I was thinking of picking some of these and finishing them very similar to the way I'm going to finish my farmer's market pieces, and that way I could have a vegetable vignette and I could also have a fruit vignette. And then This is more of the same, more fruits. I think I paid a quarter each or something ridiculous like that for those. Another yard sale, I had a Save the Stitches. Now this was in a frame. It was actually in an 11 by 14 frame, and I needed the glass because I had a picture whose glass got broken in the move, and I needed the 11 by 14 glass. So I bought it, and look at it's still got the masking tape. So this has got to be 80s era, right? I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I think I may make it into a project bag. So that was my Save the Stitch. And then Saturday, we had a really good yard sale day. There was a town over the line in Connecticut having their townwide yard sale. And so we just all woke up early and went, and we all ended up finding stuff. And my husband came with us. I think he comes so that he can veto big furniture purchases that I might make without him. But I like it when he comes because he drives and I don't have to. So anyway, he found an electric stapler. He was thrilled. I found this. I was just wondering what I was going to do as far as needle minders at StitchCon because I have some for trade. So this is a magnetic board, and I picked it up for $1, and that will be my trading board for StitchCon. And then the very best find. "10" 7" Morgan hoop combo for a punch needle. This retails for like $47 on 1 2 3 Stitch. I got it for $1. In fairness, I don't think the lady knew what it was. I will definitely use it for $1. I've been thinking that I want to get back into punch needle. I did it while we were in Guam. Really enjoyed it. So I think that was the universe telling me that it was time to get back into punch needle. But that will wait until after August when Sparrow is done. Okay, so I think that's all the stitching. I will give you a quick Homestead update and let you know what's going on. I have 2 hives of bees that are happily doing their thing. My first package I got, I think I picked that up May 1st, so it was right after my last video. And a package, for those of you who don't know, is basically that. It's just like 3 pounds of bees in a screen box. There's no wax, there's no anything. So basically a local guy takes a box truck, he drives down to Georgia or wherever it is he gets them from, and he drives them back, and then we all go pick up our packages from his house. And so I got them all settled in. And then May 17th or so, I went back to his place and I picked up a second hive in the form of a nuke colony. And a nuke is basically a baby colony. It's got drawn frame, and they've got wax, they've got brood, which are the babies, they've got stores of honey and pollen. It's just a mini hive. And so I took those home and settled them in right next to the first hive. Got into them the other day and was happy to see they're doing their thing, and the queens look good and they're laying good and they've got great laying patterns, so I'm thrilled about that. The garden is coming. We have had a very, very rainy spring. My lettuce is not growing nearly as fast as it should be. But the peppers and the tomatoes are transplanted. I am going, as soon as I finish filming this, to transplant some of my leftover tomato starts into my parents' garden and get some more squash planted. So that's the garden. And then for the final and most exciting Homestead update, This is Misty. She's been sleeping while I've been filming, so she's probably a little groggy. Misty came home to live with us yesterday. We got her from my brother and sister-in-law. They have a farm up in New Hampshire. We had told the kids that when we got settled, we would take a kitten from the first batch that came on the farm. And so Misty is here. We're still in discussions. We don't know what her middle name is yet. Max, our other cat, has 2 middle names. He is Maximilian Sherlock Aragorn Leper. And so Misty needs a name to compare, right? So it's either going to be Misty Chincoteague McGonagall Leper, or if we go the entire Harry Potter route, it will be Misty Minerva McGonagall Leper, since, you know, she can turn into a cat. But Chincoteague might be necessary to keep eldest happy, because Misty of Chincoteague is a classic book about a horse, and we've been to Chincoteague. So stay tuned to see what Misty's middle name ends up being. She's a very easygoing cat. My brother and sister-in-law have lots of cats and dogs, and so she's used to a lot of chaos, and nothing much phases her, which is good because Max is not impressed. Max likes to hiss at her. He hasn't tried to swipe at her or attack her or anything. He just likes to hiss, and she still continues to approach him and wants to play with him. So one of these days she'll win him over. I'm pretty sure. Might not be soon, but one of these days. So, all right. Oop. You're not allowed on the table. I'm going to see if I can put her back to bed. Wish me luck. All right, Flosstube, we'll see you soon. Hopefully, I will have a video for you before we leave for StitchCon, because I know that the kids have progress to show and stuff to show you, but they're so busy with school, and by then school will have let out. So hopefully we can get them in a video before StitchCon. If not, I will see you in July. Ooh, this year is flying. Fair winds and following seas, Flosstube. Bye bye.